Good evening. My name is Charlton. So how do you get 10 students over 4 days to spend more than 80 hours outside? My goal this during the quarter was to figure out this term, life-enriching calming technologies. My goal was to use SMS to encourage people to hug and spend more time outside to combat the stress of constant information flow. Others of us have coined it avalanche syndrome or flood syndrome, and that's exactly the problems I wanted to solve. And I wanted to make SMS the method and our phones the ally. So how did Be Outside work? How did I get people to spend, on average, 2 hours outside every single day? The first thing I did, well, I had them register for the trial. And that was via Google form. And I had them sign an oath, very similar to the escalation of commitment that Conrad used in his trial. Then, every night at 10 p.m., they'd receive a single text message and report back with the minutes from today, how long they spent outside, and how long they were going to spend outside tomorrow. So it's very similar to the Yi expert method. Except this time, I was trying to make it more granular. Instead of a yes, I will go outside tomorrow, they would reply with a specific duration. And then the next day, sometime during the day, I would let the user know, remind them of the commitment somehow, specifically using Facebook. And I would tag them and try to make this more social, give them information, who else is doing this, why, how are they doing themselves, and I'll go into specifics in a second. So here I have a chart of every single individual's progress. I asked them at the beginning of the trial how much time do they typically spend outside on a nice day. And on here, the red squares represent that. So this is user 1, or individual participant 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the number of participants. And then the black or the blue diamonds are their average, how long they spent outside on average every single day. And as you can see, every single person, except for individual number 9, spent more time outside. So they did, I don't know, every single day I would let them know they'd meet their goal, and they were very happy with their progress. In terms of the response rate, I did get 8 out of 10 people to respond on the first day, and otherwise pretty good response rate throughout. It was just one simple text message, and every night they would respond. So in terms of exactly what the day in the life of this trial looked like, day 1, registration. I did show the forecast for the week so they could see what they were up against, so they could see exactly how long they wanted to spend outside and what they're willing to commit to, and kind of normalize how much would they spend on a nice day. Then I asked them, do you commit to getting back to me every single night? And I think that was another escalation of commitment method that we've shown to be pretty useful. In terms of the text conversation, here's an example of one. Like I did congratulate and encourage people on their good work. So Allison, she actually responded with a range of times, 150 to 200 minutes. And instead of pestering a specific one, I kind of let that go, which was fine because she ended up spending over almost 5 hours outside, which is pretty impressive just that one day. She definitely skewed the metric, but she wanted to win. She actually would text me back, "Am I winning?" And I didn't mention the competition at all. So that was pretty good. I also had notifications. I had 2 types, one group and one individual. The group notifications was, I took 5 people and said, you guys are all doing this together, and overall, you spent this much time outside. I handed out a little reward to kind of see how it was going. Stephanie read outside, and I congratulated her for that, because she would text back with more than just the minutes. In addition, I also had individual notifications, which let people know their progress over the week. So on the 3rd and 4th day, I could let them know, you individually have spent this aggregate amount of time outside. Not relative to other people, but just kind of to create a sense of accomplishment. So next I want to talk about the secret sauce for a successful pilot. Why was this successful? And very similarly to Yi's responses, awareness was definitely important. So specifically, the concrete action of being outside, of getting someone to spend outside, or time outside, let them be more aware of their schedule. Made them schedule in time for outside things. I also had a pretty good problem statement of framing it in a way where, yes, I want to be outside, But how do I do that? Well, I can study outside, exercise, read. People had a lot of leeway just so that they could spend outside time in the sun, in nature. And I also wanted to emphasize the importance of kindness. Some people didn't reach their goals every single day. And having a response that was both encouraging and understanding was, I think, definitely important given the surveys at the end. So, in conclusion, I do want to talk about, I kind of want to bring this back down to earth, down to science. And I wanted to talk about, in the field of quantum mechanics, William Rowan Hamilton coined this Hamiltonian function, H hat. And it's the function corresponding to the total energy in the system. Now I wanted to bring something very similar to behavior design. And so I wanted to introduce the Charltonian. This is the function corresponding to the total amount of targeted behavior. In my pilots, my hug it out function, I actually counted the number of hugs throughout, and I'd relay those back to the individuals at every single message. It was, a love counter, a love fest, if you will. And for Be Outside, I did something very similar. So, there's one special property of the Charltonian I want to point out before I conclude. If you integrate the Charltonian of the pilot into your design process, you can both measure and increase the impact in your pilot. Thank you very much.
Kyra, we're going to start with you.
I think you get my favorite vote for the self-named principle and Charltonian impact. Definitely clever, clever, clever. Otherwise, very straightforward, easy to understand, well-designed, and great work.
Bernie.
Yeah, I agree with everything that was just said. I thought it was interesting that you made sure that you recognized people that didn't always achieve their goal on a daily basis, which goes back to the whole kindness concept. I think that's very reinforcing to people. I'm a little worried that Allison has her sunscreen or not. But that's a whole separate issue for another time, managing wellness. But you did an outstanding job, and I love the term that you created.
Sunscreen was actually last year's project, so yeah, we got to bring it.
I'm always a year off.
Yeah, we're going to do that. Susan.
Great idea, great way of sharing the ideas that you had obviously worked on, together over the period of the class. I thought if there's somebody who can help integrate, some of the wonderful ideas that people have got, you'd be the person to do it. And beautiful way you laid everything out, very straightforward, easy to follow. So.
Great. David?
Yeah, I actually like the intervention. There's this phenomenon called nature